Hi there, welcome to the channel or welcome back. I'm Angela and today I have a pattern review for you. If that sounds interesting, stay tuned. Hi y'all, today we are going to be taking a look at Butterick B6743. It was published in 2020 and it's basically just variations on a skirt. There are 4 variations. I hope those line drawings are showing up. So there's 2 different lengths, and then there's a fuller and a slimmer version. And the one that I did was the full version. I was trying to get the one that this model's wearing here, but I couldn't get it quite that long. I only had enough yardage of my fabric to do a length that was about halfway in between each of these 2 versions here. So about mid-calf length. And let's see, the suggested fabrics are challis, crepe, lightweight cotton, tissue file, lightweight wool, and wool blend. So that's a nice good assortment there. Kind of the typical things you might expect for a skirt. And the size ranges that it comes in are 8 to 16 and then 16 to 24. I have the 16 to 24 packet. And I cut a straight 22. I didn't make any adjustments to it at all. The only thing that, like I mentioned, that I changed was the length because I had to. But as far as fitting adjustments, I got pretty lucky in that the measurements, the body measurements for the 22 size for waist and hip, like matched me perfectly. So luckily it was pretty easy as far as that goes. And as far as measurement ranges, so for instance, the 16 to 24 hip size goes from 33.5 inches to 48 inches. And then in centimeters, it looks like it's 85 centimeters to 122 centimeters. I found the instructions to be very easy to follow. There was nothing where it was confusing. It was very clear. So I feel like this could be, a pretty good pattern for a beginner or like an advanced beginner. The only thing I think could be even moderately difficult was that there is a zipper on this. It's a side zip. So it zips on the left side and it's a 7-inch invisible zipper. And that was the only notion that was called for other than a hook and eye to go at the very top. I just skipped the hook and eye, which I usually do unless it needs it. If I get the zipper up and it's staying put, the garment fits really well, the zipper is not gonna like just undo itself at all. Sometimes I just skip the hook and eye because I find those to be very tedious to hand stitch on. If it's necessary, of course I'll put it in, but I found that it really wasn't, at least for me, so I skipped that. So just the zipper, that was kind of nice. And regarding pieces, the way it's constructed, there's a front and a side front and a back and a side back. And then it doesn't have a waistband per se, it uses waistband facings. So there was a front facing and a back facing. And I'll show you once I pull out my skirt the details of the construction so you can see what I'm talking about here in just a moment. But first, I'm going to show you what the skirt looks like on so you can get to see that. And then we'll come back and I'll show you some close-up details of the skirt and talk a little bit more about how much I liked it or didn't like it and so forth. So right now, let's look at me wearing the skirt. So what did you think? I do like it, and there's always 3 questions that I ask myself for every project that I do. And the first is, do I like it? Do I like the way it turned out? And on this one, it's wholeheartedly yes. Like I mentioned, I didn't have any fitting adjustments to make. It was pretty easy to sew up, quick. It went pretty quickly. I love the way it fits, and I actually ended up liking the length that I had to go with. I think it's probably a great length for me, and I would have chosen that maybe even if I hadn't been kind of like forced to based on lack of yardage. So I love that about it. And the second question is, would I make it again? And that's definitely another wholehearted yes. I probably will make it again, and this might even like become a TNT, a tried and true for me. It turned out so well. And the third question is, would I change anything? And no, I wouldn't change anything. I love everything about it. And let's take a look at some of the, mostly I want to show you that waistband facing, just to kind of show you. There's nothing tricky about it, but most of the skirts and pants and things that I usually make have an actual waistband. So this one is just the facing. You stitch it on, flip it to the inside, and understitch and all that, and then tack it down at the seams. So here's the skirt, and I ended up having to use like a 10 or 12-inch zipper because that's all they had in the color that I wanted at Joann's, and then just shortened it, so that was not a problem there. But I just wanted to show you, so you can see at the top of the waist here, there's no waistband. This is just all the face fabric right here, and then I flip it to the inside, and that's just a facing there. Kind of tacked it down at one of the seams there. So it was pretty simple, really simple actually. And this fabric is so good. It's very substantial. It's not a lightweight challis. It's, it's pretty, like I wouldn't call it heavyweight, maybe medium weight. So that means that it has nice drape to it, and also it falls nice, like it lays nicely because of the heft of the fabric. So I had considered actually lining this skirt, but the more I got to thinking about it, I didn't really think that it needed one because the fabric behaves so well and it's got such nice weight to it. So it doesn't really need a lining. I always could have lined it, afterwards if I wanted to, just stitch the lining in by hand, but I don't think it really needs it. I'm excited to wear this just because of the fabric itself and all the colors. This is the last piece that I will be making for my capsule wardrobe for this fall. So I'm kind of glad to put that project to bed and move on to something else. And speaking of something else, I have put out a poll over on my community page for you guys to vote on my next project. I'm definitely going to use a specific fabric, which I put a picture of in that poll, and I have narrowed it down to 3 patterns. They're all like big 4 patterns, ones that I already have on hand because I didn't want to buy a new pattern just for this when I have so many that I still would like to sew. So I put the poll up, and it's looking like there's definitely like a clear forerunner out of the 3 options that I provided. And I kind of, I'm having a little bit of doubts about that one, to be honest with you guys. I'm so excited to get your opinion just to see what you think I should make. And you might be surprised with what I actually go with. There will be more to come on that later. But if you haven't looked at the poll yet, please do. It's over on my community page. And I don't want to disappoint you guys, but the one that I go with may not be the forerunner in the poll. And if so, I apologize. But the more I got to thinking about it, and I'll explain why once I decide what I'm going to go with for sure and share that with you guys, kind of what my thoughts are, and if I veer away from what the first place choice is on the poll, why I'm doing that. So I will be getting started on that project this week, along with making a little bit further progress on my cargo pants. But the next video to come out later in this week or this weekend, I'm going to take a little bit of a detour just because I need a break from all these projects that I've been doing. And we're going to take a look at some of my favorite options for a holiday dress. I never go anywhere fancy for the holidays, or pretty much ever at all, but I do love the idea of making a beautiful party dress or a party gown or something like that. And I thought it would be fun just to look at all the patterns out there on the internet and come up with maybe a handful that would make a beautiful party dress, or like a ball, not a ball gown, nothing like full skirted, that fancy, but just like a holiday dress that you would wear to a Christmas party or something like that. So I'm gonna share my pics. I hope that you'll tune in for that. And until then, bye.